Hello there, channel members, friends, and followers from around the world. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for tonight's show. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a look at the FlightFX SF50 Vision G2 Jet for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I want to begin today by thanking all of you for being here. Air Knowledge, welcome aboard. Rand Quigley, hello, my friend, welcome aboard. Glad everything is well. And we have also with us Ro Page. Hello, my friend, welcome aboard. And I want to just verify with you guys that you are able to hear both my voice and the sim. I was having a little bit of trouble getting things ready for you guys this evening. So if you can just confirm that everything you are able to watch the stream and able to hear me well, that would be great. So here's what we're going to be doing today. We are currently situated at Hollywood Burbank Airport in California. And for our flight, we are going to be flying down to San Diego. This should be an interesting flight. The current weather is not live weather, but we are going to do that once we are ready to start the aircraft. I want to show you the beauty of this aircraft first. And excellent. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for the confirmation. Appreciate it. Thanks very much, Rand. And welcome, everyone. We have also with us Saad Al-Hanadi. Saad Al-Hanadi, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you with us. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking a look at the modeling, at the system simulation in this aircraft. Of course, I'm not a SF50 pilot, so I cannot vouch for its flight model. But I will tell you this, that throughout the footage that I've seen of the aircraft in real life, I'm going to tell you that I was, right off the bat, I was actually very impressed with this FlightFX aircraft. And before we begin actually taking a look at this aircraft, I just want to remind you that the price of this aircraft is just under $25. So let's begin by taking a look at the 3D model. And as you can see, the 3D modeling is simply exquisite, at least. As we can see, the exterior 3D modeling, the texturing is absolutely stellar on this aircraft. And I want to just show you the details that these guys at FlightFX have done on this aircraft. If you look here at the bolts, look at how detailed and the resolution of the bolts here. Look at that. Look at how detailed this is. And there are different types, different sizes. Very, very detailed aircraft. If we look also at all the decals right here and look at that, look at how detailed this is and how crisp and clear the textures are. Again, you look at the engine, at the exhaust right here. Very, very nicely done by FlightFX. Beautiful, really texturing. Here you can see, again, we can go and zoom in here. Look at that. Everything is just done so well in terms of the 3D modeling and the texturing. Again, the baggage compartment here with everything so detailed. Look at that. Look at the resolution of all the text here, all the markings. And if we go again to the land, every little area in this aircraft has been just very carefully textured and modeled. Look at the landing gear area and how detailed it is and how beautiful the texturing is of this aircraft. For under $25, I tell you, this is a real bargain. Look at that. Just a beautiful aircraft, really, to look at. Texturing, 3D modeling is simply stellar. Outstanding work by FlightFX. Now, I'm not sure if it's the same developer of the Honda Jet, but without a doubt, the team that worked on this aircraft has done a superb job. Again, look at the details there and the reflection on the window. And if we go down, if we go inside the passenger cabin and the cockpit, nothing short of spectacular. Really, in terms of the 3D modeling and the texturing. Look at that detail. Just everything is so detailed and so high quality. Really commendable job. Again, you can see the thumbprints right here on the displays. and you can see this little scratches here, little fine details. You can see it here as well, to give the aircraft, a kind of a used look, but still very executive looking, and it's a rich man's aircraft without a doubt. And so it looks absolutely phenomenal. It is just really, really incredibly detailed aircraft. And I love the little details they've done all around this aircraft. Again, here you can see the headsets, nice seats, and it comes, by the way, in different configurations. You can even change the type of luggage. Look at the door. Just really outstanding work in terms of the 3D modeling and the texturing, without any doubt in my mind that this is exquisite work by FlightFX to recreate a highly authentic model of the SF50 Vision G2 for the sim. Again, here's a nice look at the outside. Hopping into the 3D cockpit, as you can see again, as we've seen, it looks absolutely immaculate in terms of the texturing. Very, very well done by FlightFX. By the way, most of the buttons here do work, but some here on the overhead panel, nothing works on the overhead panel, which is kind of a shame. But if you consider the price of the aircraft and what we are about to see, so the parachute system isn't working, but everything else pretty much working, and you will really appreciate the level of detail in this aircraft as we start exploring its systems. I want to welcome with us today Luciano. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. And we have Intellet. Welcome aboard. Does VNAV work on this, please? We're about to find out today. I think it does, yeah. Amazing detail, Rand. Absolutely. And we have with us NM Flyer Robin. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. It is definitely a brilliant jet. We have Boeing Corp from Logan, New Jersey. Welcome aboard, my friend. And I own this aircraft, and it's simply fantastic. Yeah, it is fantastic. Yeah, it deserves to be labeled as fantastic. I think the Cirrus SR20 cap renewal paintwork for 20 years here in the Netherlands. Welcome aboard, my friend Distortion. Thanks for being here this evening. Abaji, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. So yeah, I think they have done really a brilliant job with the texturing and the modeling. So let's go ahead and let me just, by the way, I just want to show you one thing. Again, by the way, the sounds on this aircraft are also done very well. So we're going to come here and we're going to open the door. Again, listen to the nice sounds. Absolutely brilliant sounds. Very, very nice indeed. There you go. And you have the doors open now. And of course, we'll close them just a little later once we are ready to go. All right, so let's come down here and let's turn battery 1, battery 2. And again, you can see the nice Garmin displays. Very nice sounds. The caution sounds there are very nice indeed. And as you zoom in, again, everything is very sharp. And the details are simply outstanding. So let's take a look at the systems. Now, this aircraft has multiple displays. We can hear that. All right, let's cancel the master caution. There are multiple displays. It takes a little bit of time to kind of get used to it. It's very different from your regular aircraft. But you have so you can control this PFD from this Garmin device. You can control the rest, you can control this device from within the MFD home here, and you have the Navcom and radios here as well. The autopilot system is located down here, as you can see, and the air conditioning system, while operational, doesn't really do anything or affect anything in the aircraft. But nonetheless, it has been modeled, not that it does anything, so it doesn't really cool the windows or reduces fog or anything like that, but it is there. So let's take a quick look at the aircraft systems. If we go here to the map, you can see we have the map, we have the traffic, the weather, and the weather does work, by the way. Of course, flying direct to flight plan procedure charts is another thing. If we look here at, let's go back. Again, we have the airport charts, very nice. And by the way, if you want to switch between the panes, so you simply come here and you click that. So now you are controlling the navigation map. So anything you click here affects this pane. And if you switch this knob here, now you are working on this pane. This is very, very important and very useful to know that you have both displays. If you want to expand the display to look at the entire display, simply click on full. If you are on this pane and you click full, obviously it's going to bring the full screen on the charts. And if you are on this pane and you click on full, it will bring up the flight plan. So that's kind of worthy of noting for those of you who are planning on purchasing the aircraft. Now, if we go to the aircraft systems and you look at status and information, you can see here we have the park brake is on, cabin door is open, you have the oxygen fluid, baggage door is closed and you can open it if that's what you choose to do. External power is currently off. If we go to the engine and fuel, again, this is fully modeled here and everything is actually functional. So it's not just a display, it actually works. And when you turn things on, you will see things changing here and illuminating, which is a nice thing. Electrical power is, again, you can see battery 1 and battery 2 are on. Ice protection is also modeled. Landing gear is modeled. And you have the system test. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and perform the pre-flight test.
Higher. Higher, 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 higher. Stall, stall, stall.
All right, so we performed the pre-flight test. We can go back here and back again. So we've taken a look at that. The aircraft also, let's switch to the other pane here, it comes with a fully integrated checklist. So if I say before start checklist, before engine start, and it actually you have to click here to mark the item as done. So the pre-flight inspection is done. You just click here, and as you can see, it moves now to the door. And once we close the door, then we can go back and check that item. We're going to put this on, let's see here. Let's put this back on map. I think I have it on this pane. All right, let's put this one on map. And let's put the other pane on the checklist. Why is it doing that? All right, here we go. Checklist, or start. I think it has to come here. Okay, that's fine. Let's bring it here. Let's bring the map, or beg your pardon, the flight plan. You can change, by the way, the map settings as well. Traffic, terrain. You can add all of that. You can add map sync on or all. So there are a few things that you can do there as well. And we can bring up the charts. We can bring up the checklist. All right, so we've done that. All right, so VAMS is the Virtual Aircraft Management System. And through this menu, what you can do is toggle the chocks, the storage cover. And by the way, if you can put here, let me just show you here real quick. You put the storage cover and it will put the, I think it needs the door to be closed in order to put the storage in the chocks as well. So I think, yeah, I think you need to have both of them. We'll do it once we arrive into San Diego. It looks pretty cool, both from the inside and out. Covers and protection, and you can also open the luggage door. From the luggage menu, you can, so from the luggage, you can either select the family vacation, golf trip, snowboard, and what this will do is it will actually open, you can open this door and you'll see the different type of equipment inside the aircraft. But I'll leave it up to you guys to check this out if you decide to get the aircraft. So, but that option is there. We can just put family vacation. It will change the payload information for the aircraft. So if we go to the status, again, very nice. You can set the aircraft from the cold and dark state, taxi, or takeoff. From the boss menu, you can put on the headphones. As you can see, it's gone. And the nice thing also about this aircraft, it's got an active noise reduction system. As you can see now, the sounds are completely gone, and you can't hear really the cockpit ambient sounds, which is a very nice feature, especially when you're. We're going to leave this off for the duration of our stream review stream, so you guys also can hear the sounds and get an appreciation of it. The FAQ is a knowledge base. You can scan this QR code, and it takes you to a page. This is not the manual, by the way. It's just a FAQ about the aircraft. And from the config, you can configure the actual cabin. So now this is set to family. Again, if you can see the nice lighting here, very, very nicely done. So we can come here, for example, and select the executive, and that will change the cabin, as you can see here, which is very cool. And you can also go to the family setup here, or you can go to the executive setup, and we'll leave it on the executive setup here for our flight today. All right. So lots and lots of things modeled, very, very detailed aircraft. For under $25, this is very impressive work. It is definitely an excellent rendition of the Cirrus and of the Cirrus Vision or SF50, and I do like all the information that is provided in this aircraft. All right. So far, so good. It is very impressive, Rand, without a doubt. It is just really an impressive aircraft. All right. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to go back. And from here, by the way, you can also... All right. So what we're going to be doing now is, by the way, it's got the speed bugs as well. So you can set the speed bugs based on your current... the current weight, and fuel, and all of that. But first, but both takeoff and landing speeds can be set through the speed bugs. And you have also, of course, your utilities where you can initialize. The lighting configuration inside the cockpit can be manipulated. The setup here, avionics setup, and the database status is just, we have Navigraph charts, which I, by the way, highly recommend that you get for this aircraft. All right, I'm getting some issues with the with YouTube, but where can I buy this plane? You can buy this plane on the marketplace. And if you guys just confirm there is no buffering, because I am kind of getting some issues with YouTube. It's kind of giving me some messages that the video isn't smooth or something like that. So if you can just confirm everything is good on your side, would be great. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back, and we're going to go back again, and let's go home. And from the home menu, wish someone would make a Jetstar Falcon 50. I think there's one coming. It buffered a few moments ago, but good now. All right, perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, and we've got with us today, is it Elise Mamri? Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Excellent. Excellent. All right, perfect. All good. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do now is, first of all, we can come here to the map. So we're going to leave this on map, and we can come here and change this maybe to the checklist. All right. But before we do so, let's go ahead and enter our flight plan. Now, entering the flight plan is actually pretty simple on this aircraft. So we're going to come here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see and follow along if that's what you choose to do. Later on, if you watch the stream, we're going to bring up our friendly Sim Toolkit Pro, and we're going to say always on top, and we're going to start entering the flight plan. So adding the origin airport is Kilo Bravo Uniform Romeo. That's not exactly right. Kilo Bravo Uniform Romeo. Why is it not adding uniform? Uniform. There we go. All right, so that's Bob Hope or Hollywood Burbank Airport in California, and we're going to enter that. Perfect. And then we're going to select the procedure. So we are going to click here on the procedure and we're going to select the departure. As you can see, it automatically selects the airport, but this is not the right. So this is the right SID, beg your pardon, the VINI 3. So we're going to select that. And the transition is the twine transition. So we're going to select the correct one as well. So this is the twine and we are departing runway 08. We're going to say load. And now if we go to the flight plan and back again, as you can see here now, we have all the information set up here. Now we want to enter the rest of the train. Now to enter the airway, we click on twine and it did not. All right, that's fine. All right, so let's go to load airway. And as you can see, V518 is there. And we're going to exit at Kimo. So that's Kimo. And we're going to say load airway. And now we're going to go to the exit point, click that, and we're going to say load airway for the next one. And the next one is the Vector 459. So this one here, and we're going to exit at Sierra Lima, India. So exit at Sierra Lima, India, load the airway, perfect. And now from SLI is a Vector 23 airway. So again, we're going to click here and we're going to select load airway and we're going to select Vector 23. Vector 23 is selected and we're going to exit at Mike Zulu Bravo, which is Mission Bay. And that would be our transition into the approach at San Diego. So we're going to select that and say load airway. Perfect. Now the destination is San Diego, which is Kilo Sierra Alpha November, and that's San Diego International, and we're going to say enter. And finally, we're going to go to San Diego. All right, so we're going to go to the procedure here real quick. We're going to go to the approach, and this is not the approach. It's the localizer through the Lindy transition, and we're going to say load, and that's it. We're not going to activate it. We're just going to leave it for now. And we are going to go back. Active flight plan desynchronized. Please delete the active plan to resolve. Really? And why is that? Flight plan options. Delete flight plan. Okay. All right. Let's do this one more time, guys. All right. Let's add the origin airport. Kilo Bravo Uniform Romeo. And enter. And then we're going to select our destination, which is Kilo Sierra Alpha November, and enter that. And we are going to select the procedure departure out of the VINI 3 through the twine transition, and we're going to say load and back, and the approach is through the localizer through the Lindy transition, load, and back, and back. All right. Now it looks like it's doing the right thing. All right. Yeah, we can see that. And now we can enter the rest of the points. So from runway 08 through the twine transition, where is the rest? All right. Looks like the procedure is gone. So let's collect this. Let me select that again. Why is that not showing? Back and back. Departure. All right, add in routes. Let's take a look here at the flight plan. What's it showing us here? Yeah, it's definitely not showing us the departure there. So maybe let's see here. Let me enter that one more time. Twine. And all right, let me just say remove this departure. And now we're going to say load it again. Load, back, and back. All right, see, all of this happens on a stream. It just worked perfectly. Let's see here with this. Not on my PC. What's the price? $24.99 is the price. Yeah, the aircraft is definitely aviation lover. The aircraft's very good. All right, let's do this again, guys. Sorry about that. Kilo Bravo Uniform Romeo, and enter. All right, we're going to add the procedure. Why is it not? All right, go back, departure. Let's see here. Fin 3 transition is the twine transition, and we're going to load that, go back, and go back again. Right, we have everything here now, and if we look at the flight plan, it's showing us what it's supposed to show. Perfect. We're going to come down here. We're going to select en route, load the airway, and select V158, and we're going to exit that one at Kimo, load the airway. We're going to go to Kimo, load the airway, and the next airway is 459, so Victor 459, and we're going to exit this one at Sierra Lima, India, and load the airway. Then we're going to come down here, select the next airway from SLI's Victor 23. So let's select that, Victor 23, and we're going to exit Victor 23 at Mike Zulu Bravo. We're going to load that, and then we're going to go to we're going to go direct to San Diego. So we are going to let's see here, add destination, which is Kilo Sierra Alpha November. Excellent. Enter. And now we have our destination at San Diego Airport, and we can select from the procedure. So let's go back. Oh, come on. All right, so we can now select the procedure. The approach is going to be the ILS localizer 27, and through the Lindy transition, and we're going to say load, and we're going to say we're not going to activate that, so we're going to go back, and then we're going to go back again. All right, we're just going to leave it there. That's fine. It keeps saying that you know, the approach is desynced, but that's all right. We'll just leave it. I think we'll be fine. Let's look here. Yeah, looks fine. All right, perfect. So we have everything here. We have our flight plan. We're going to go back, and we're going to go to the utilities. We're going to go to the initialization. As you can see, the database status check. By the way, this one just means that we have a Navigraph, so nothing more than that. And the system tests are okay. We're going to go to the initial fuel. We're just going to say FOB sync. It will sync whatever you have in the sim, which is 149 gallons of fuel. And that is cool. We're going to go back. As you can see now, it has a check there. Weight and balance. We have the pilot and no passengers today. If you wanted to add passengers, you just need to manipulate this. We have about 155 pounds of luggage. And we're going to go back. All is set here. We're going to say accept initialization. We're going to go to the speed bugs, and we're going to say all on. And now we have the rotate 90, 94, and 165. Perfect. Starting the aircraft is actually pretty simple. And we're going to just put here. So we're going to go ahead and close our doors now. All right. Let's go here and close the door. Let's see here. There we go. Very nice sounds. Doors are latched. Perfect. And we can come here now and say that the doors are latched. Parking brake is set. And we can now check this item here. Batteries 1 and 2 are checked. Generators 1 and 2 are on. And we can check that. External GPU is not available. Verify the FADAC channel is displayed below. Thrust, and that's okay. Check. And now we can go to the next one. So for the engine start, it's actually pretty simple. As you can see here, strobe lights are on, and those are our strobe lights. CAS messages checked. This is the CAS messages. We only have the probe heat, which we will turn on later. Thrust lever on idle, which it is. And brake, hold. All right. Holding the brakes, check. Engine knob to run, so we can come here. This is the engine knob. So we click this on run. You can hear the nice sounds. We can verify fuel pump is on, and we can check that. Fuel pump on, so verify the fuel pump is on. The advisory CAS is displayed. Audibly confirm pump is on. Yep, we can hear it. And the engine temperature and all that good stuff is done. Let's go ahead and start the engines. Listen to those beautiful engine sounds. And we can now monitor the engine instruments. How cool is that? And this is the sound from the outside. But before we do go any further, let's go ahead and enable live weather. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting flight. Looks like it's training here in Hollywood Burbank, and it should be a fun flight again to really witness the aircraft in the rain. Thank you very much, Rand, for really moderating the chat. I really, truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, so we have a good start now, and we can come down here. By the way, if you wanted to change the... We can come here. Is it this one? All right, here we go. There we go. We can now change the zoom in and out. Can look at our flight plan. Let's go ahead and set our altitude. I believe it's 17,000 feet today for this flight. So let's go ahead and set that real quick. Perfect. 17,000 is now set. Altimeter is set to 3015, and now we can go here and check the so the EIS check, engine IPS is check, ECS control panel, external GPU is disconnected, oxygen master is this switch here. Again, very nice sounds. Fresh air or bleed air is turned on, and now you can hear the air conditioning system working. You can adjust the temperature and use defog. While, by the way, you can press these buttons, so they are modeled, but they don't actually do anything. So they are just there for completeness sake, I suppose. And we can check avionics initialization is checked. What happened here? Right. All right. Cap's been removed and stowed. Passengers are briefed. And seat belts are secured. Bleed switches, fresh air is on. And procedure is complete. Before taxicom and nav GPS is set. ATS clearance is obtained. Altimeter is checked. Transponder is not set. It's just set now. All right. Let's see. By the way, the nav radio is, you have to click here to access the nav radios. And then you've got the co-pilot. Some things are not modeled, but that's okay. We're squawking 1200 today. And we can set, this one is now okay. So check flight controls, or check they are free and correct. Yep, all is good. I love the flight stick there. All right, check trim 6 degrees. So you watch right here. This is the pitch trim. And we're going to set this to 6 degrees. As you can see now, it is set and check. Flaps 50%. We're going to set the flaps. And again, very nice animations. I'm really impressed, guys, with this aircraft. For under fit. Greetings from Fresno. We have with us MCP 2002. Welcome aboard from Fresno, California, my second home in the US of A. Chris, hello, my friend. You should add 40 pounds for each seat you have in the back for your weight and balance to be correct, as the seats are removable, and needs to know how many seats are in the plane. Oh, that's good to know. Thanks for the info. All right, so flaps are set. That's good information. Thank you. Electrical roll trim is set. Toga button is pressed. Now the toga button is, I believe it's this button here, if I'm not mistaken. And there is also, if you look at the, it's got an auto throttle system, which is, I think, if you go here, there is a button here. So this area is a clickable area, and it sets the throttle to MCT, which is the maximum continuous thrust, MCT. I think that's what you do there. This is, yeah, I believe that's where you click. And it can also follow the FMS, and the FMS will choose the right speed for the current autopilot settings, or you can choose manual. Now, to make sure you don't ruin your engines, after takeoff, we need to go to FMS or MCT, or reduce throttle, obviously, so that, you know, we don't mess things up. All right, so toga button is pressed, and let's see here. We're going to come here and check cast messages. Check, the only thing we have is the pitot heat, and we can get rid of that by clicking on the probe heat here. So no TCAS message anymore. So that is now checked. Excellent. And seats must be in normal upright position, which they are, before taxi parking brake is released. And we check the parking. We'll do that right away. All right. So we have everything ready to go. And we are going to release the parking. Yeah, we're going to release the parking brake now. And we are going to check the brakes here. Very nice sounds. Listen to that. And it takes a little bit of power to get the aircraft moving, which is cool. All right, so the brakes do work. Perfect. Looks like we're going to hit the... All right. Perfect. And now we're going to head over to runway 08 for departure. It's a rainy day here at Bob Hope Airport. And if we click here... All right, so the before takeoff departure briefing is checked. Landing lights. Let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Very nice sounds. I love the sounds. Probe heat switch is on. Engine IPS switch. Wing stab IPS switch is okay. CAS messages are checked. Trim is set to 6 degrees. Flaps 50. Takeoff emergency battery CAS message is not displayed, which it is not. And so we are good to go. Takeoff multifunction windows configure. And that's it. Normal takeoff. We're going to hold the brakes. Thrust lever to takeoff. Check normal instruments. Brake release. 80 to 90 knots for takeoff. Pitch attitude is 5 degrees. And let's see. Landing gear is up. Flaps are up at 115 knots. All right. Airspeed per climb tables. All right. So let's check all of these guys. All right. All right, perfect. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and take off. As you can see here, it says for the climb, we're going to use MCT. And by the way, here's a look at the aircraft from the exterior view. All right, perfect. Now, one thing to be very careful is that there's mountains. There's a mountain range here, and so we need to be very careful with our departure, as you can see here. So we're going to make a left turn right after departure to intercept our flight plan. And let's see here if we can. Let's see. Pane 1. We're going to put the map here. Actually, let's do the following. Let's do full. And we can now... Alright, so now you guys can see exactly what's happening here when we go to this user waypoint. And from the user waypoint, we'll make the left turn, but we have to be mindful of the mountains there. Alright, so the parking brakes are being held. We're going to set takeoff thrust. Right, takeoff thrust is set. Parking brake released, and we will wait for 90 knots, about 85 to 90 knots for rotation. '85 and takeoff. Woo, beautiful. Feels very good, not as touchy as the Honda Jet. Positive rate, gears going up. And we're going to begin the turn now to intercept our flight plan. And this is what we're doing here, so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. We're going to wait for 115. And by the way, I believe if you click here, that's MCT. 115, flaps are going up. Visibility isn't that great, but it should add to the fun. Right, here we go. All right, so putting this on autopilot is actually pretty simple. We're going to turn on the flight director. So flight director is on, and then we're going to turn on the autopilot. Autopilot is on, and we're going to go to nav. So that's nav, and we're going to go to flight change. And now the aircraft should accelerate and climb to 17,000 feet, which is our final cruise altitude today. And here's a look at the outside, folks. Look at that. Look at those beautiful lights. Hello, Benny. Welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you very much for being here and for being a loyal member here at the channel, Benny. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, it is definitely, the sounds are beautiful. And we are now climbing. Visibility isn't that great. But we're doing all right. All is looking good. All our indicators are in the green. And we continue our climb to our cruise altitude. We picked a rainy day here. We could, by the way, fly in normal weather, but I thought it would be a lot more fun to test this aircraft under these conditions. And for this reason, I picked Hollywood Burbank. What a neat little design. Yeah, absolutely. Just really nice aircraft. Just look at that. I mean, if we go here again and look at the look at that. Look at the beautiful wing view there. Just really gorgeous aircraft. Job very well done by FlightFX, and I am quite impressed that all of this level of detail, definitely the system simulation and the fidelity of this aircraft for under $25, that's insane. All right, let's go ahead and turn off the landing lights. We're coming close to 10,000 feet. And by the way, the aircraft is pretty easy on the frames. Of course, I know I'm no longer a reference in terms of FPS because I have the 4090 with frame generation. But this aircraft, if I bring the, for example, if I compare it to the default Asobo Cessna at Hollywood Burbank Airport, where we were located, I get about 100 FPS in the Cessna Asobo, but in this aircraft, I actually get about 125, 130 FPS. So in terms of FPS, it's actually pretty good. I'm having trouble turning the volume on the nav radios to identify them. The nav radios, identify them. They seem to work, but they don't. So you can see the frequency, but when you activate it, it doesn't really show them. So you are right there. I think I have the same issue. Steve Bennett, hello, my friend. Welcome. It's better than the Honda Jet. Which one do you prefer? Well, I will tell you guys my very honest opinion. If I were to choose between the Honda Jet and this SF50, I would definitely go for the SF50. I just absolutely love this aircraft. It's a lot less touchy on the controls than the Honda Jet, and I just think that it's again, the Honda Jet is again modeled very well, but this one is much better in my view. Has FlightFX made other add-ons as well? So there is another aircraft by FlightFX, which is the Honda Jet. Now, the Honda Jet was developed by Marwan Gharib, and Marwan has decided to choose FlightFX as the distributor of the aircraft. I do not know if he's been involved in the development of this aircraft or not, but it is under the FlightFX flagship, without a doubt. All right, so we're continuing now. Now, by the way, if you wanted to use, if we go here to the utilities, setup, no, that's not one I wanted to show you guys. If we go to, is it aircraft systems? No. Flight plan, it says active plan is desynchronized, please. Really? All right, so if you go to VNAV and you say VNAV is enabled, you will need to add the altitudes. So if I go VNAV enabled and go back, it's going to keep saying this. You can come here actually for the VNAV and enter the altitude. And once you do that, the aircraft will actually, you can actually use VNAV. I will probably do a tutorial for this on a later stream. But now with this saying it's not synced, I just don't want to risk, losing the flight plan while we are up in the air. So I'm just going to leave it alone for now. And we are approaching our final cruise altitude, which is 17,000 feet. Looks like there is some turbulence here. And here's a look at the outside, ladies and gentlemen. Just really spectacular. Very, very nice aircraft. All right, we're coming up to 17,000 feet. Yeah, the clouds definitely look gorgeous. Well, California isn't very sunny today, is it? That's very cloudy. I think all the way to San Diego. All right, 17,000 feet, and we can see that you know, we're at about 59, so thrust is good. Everything's looking good here. We're just gonna, by the way, you can go to, see here, you have this button here. So now let's switch to FMS, and it will just select the right speed for the current autopilot setting. So we're just gonna let this do its thing. And we are now at 17,000 feet, and as you can see here, we can increase the range a little bit here, and we see exactly where we're heading. This is Chemo. We're going to begin the top of descent is not too far from now, by the way. So it's a very short flight to San Diego. Any fix for X-Plane 12? Yes, Boeing Corp, they have released a fix and everything's back to normal in X-Plane 12. The clouds are looking very, very good now in X-Plane 12, and I will be making a video very soon on RC2 and tell you my thoughts, and you know, I'll probably showcase a couple of airports as well while we do that. All right. Looking good. We are at our cruise altitude. Fantastic looking scene ahead of us here. Been finally getting the hand of VNAV in the Honda Jet. Yeah. Southern California is always turbulent. I bet it's probably because of all the mountains. But this is very turbulent. Yeah. We can switch, by the way, to you know, clear weather. If that's what you guys like me to do, I will do it. I once flew this thing in real life with my instructor. Controls are very heavy. They're not powered. Took all my strength to keep the elevators from going up during a takeoff because of the thrust. Oh yeah, I bet with a jet engine like that. As you can see, the FMS is now controlling our speed, so the speed has pretty much stopped here at 222. So yeah, if you guys prefer that we fly in regular weather, that's perfectly okay with me. You get to see all the nice little, you know, the mountainous terrain. Right now, everything is covered in clouds. So it's up to you guys. If you want me to change the weather, all you have to say, all you have to do is just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. Otherwise, we can just leave it like that and have fun with the weather. Boeing Corp coming in with a 10-month membership. Thank you very much, Boeing Corp, for your loyalty and support, my friend. I truly appreciate it. Keep it this way. Looks gorgeous. All right, we'll keep it that way then. Perfect. So we're flying in real time and real weather. And if we look at our flight plan, so let me just come down here. And we are still, all right, so we're not too far from the top of descent, which we should begin very soon. So between, if we look at our flight plan here, so if I go to the flight plan, it says okay. All right, and we go up a little bit. So between MZB, between SLI and MZB is when we are going to begin the descent. So between those two, we'll begin the descent towards San Diego. We'll be actually very close then to the runway. So what I'm going to do now, folks, is we are going to go to the second pane. Let's see here. Let's go back, and we're going to say half. And on the second pane, we can bring the charts, and charts data failed. Why is that? Chart options. All right. Well, that's all right. We always have an alternate here, so we're going to come to this and just we want the ILS frequency, and this is localizer only, guys. So there's no glide slope. We're going to have to manage that ourselves. So 110.9, and the course is 275 for runway 27 at San Diego. So 110.9. To do this, we're going to come to the audio and radios. We're going to go to nav 1, 110.9, and transfer that. And now you can see 110.9 is set. And again, if you go and click on nav 1, it somehow changes it here, but you don't actually, I'm not sure why it doesn't enable right here, so it doesn't turn green, although I click it, doesn't turn green for some reason. So I really am not sure why is that the case. And by the way, we haven't covered this part here. This is where you change the nav source from GPS to nav. You can add the bearing to nav 1, nav 2, to the GPS. The display is right here, so I can say bearing, obviously the ADF. We're going to put this on, we'll leave bearing 1 on nav 1 and bearing 2 on nav 2. You've got your timer here. You can always use that if you want. You can reset and start when you start your flight. Traffic map as well. We can add that here, which is a nice feature. What else you've got there? You've got your minimums as well. You can enter those and turn it on. So lots and lots of things to configure with this aircraft. Really, the depth of system simulation is done very well in this aircraft, and I really like it. I really like what they've done with this aircraft. And for $25, I tell you guys, this is a must-have aircraft. It is a must-have aircraft without a doubt. All right, so since we don't have this, we're going to put the weather here, and we can go to the aircraft systems. No, we're going to go to let's see here, utilities, setup, avionics. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back one more time. Where is the waypoint information? Is it utilities? Setup? No. There we go. Weather selection, weather radar. Radar is on display. Display the weather. Scan is vertical.
Very informative and entertaining videos. Buy yourself a cup of coffee.
Boeing Corp just came in with a $20 super chat. Thank you very much, Boeing Corp. And yeah, I could use a cup of coffee in the morning without a doubt. So thank you for buying me. I'm going to go ahead and buy a cup of coffee from Starbucks tomorrow morning. And when they ask me for my name, I'm going to say Boeing Corp. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, my friend. Very kind of you. Thank you for your generosity and your support throughout. Appreciate it very much, Boeing Corp. Thank you. It's very kind of you. All right, so we are looking good, and we continue our flight to San Diego. And speaking of that, we should begin the top of descent shortly. Once we see MZB, then we are good. I think it's between MIDS and MZB is when we are going to begin the Hopefully less clouds as we approach San Diego. Here's a look at the outside view here. What a gorgeous looking scene here with all those clouds and this beautiful aircraft. Look at that. And those are all the preset views that comes with the aircraft for your viewing for your viewing pleasure. Brilliant. I'm surprised we don't see anything on the weather radar. This is a really gorgeous scene. Look at that, guys. Cole Johnson, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. There's no pilot model. I haven't seen it, so I think no. No worries, Fivi Bem. Take care, my friend. Thanks very much for being here. Fell in love with the jet. It is an incredible jet, really. And I tell you, from my perspective, I think this is one of the better add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, again, guys, I cannot vouch for the authenticity of the flight model, but I can tell you that the depth of system simulation, the 3D modeling, the custom sounds are definitely to be commendable. And if this add-on was priced at maybe $50 or so, I would still think that it's worth a buy. So at $24.99, it's a real bargain, and one aircraft that I think you will come to enjoy a lot. There's a lot to explore, there's a lot to learn about the aircraft, and so I highly recommend it. And I will tell you right now that this aircraft receives my highest commendations, a final score of 9 out of 10. And the only reason I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 is because the documentation could use a little bit of improvement, and in my view, it needs a little bit more work to make it useful. I went through some of the so some of the things on the aircraft are not explained very well in the manual, and that is the only reason that I'm going to deduct a point and give it a 9 out of 10. But those of you who know me, that very few add-ons make it to the 9 and 10 range. 10 is very rare. I don't normally give 10 out of 10 unless something ticks all the boxes. But this one almost ticks all the boxes. From the add-on perspective, I think definitely it gets, from the modeling, the depth of system simulation, maybe it gets the 9 there as well. Some of the things are in-op, for example, here on the overhead panel. So none of this actually work. It's there, it's modeled, but it's in-op. So for those reasons only, I will give it a 9 out of 10. But overall, just a brilliant add-on, and it receives my approval. Without a doubt, the Q8 Pilot seal of approval is definitely granted for this aircraft. And if you want to buy it, I would highly recommend it. By the way, I purchased this aircraft from the marketplace, and I have no association with FlightFX whatsoever. I truly think that this is a very good add-on to have. and it's quite enjoyable. And I'm going to bring something very unique to the channel very soon, something I hope that you guys will like, and it's something to do with, you know, bringing or how should I say this without blowing it? All right. So what I'm going to bring to the channel is a product that is more focused towards those of you who like to fly in the sim, but also at the same time learn about the history of the different places they're visiting, and you know, things like that. And you'll be able to plan your flights in those historical places, learn about them, and go to all the points of interest within that specified location and have fun. So that is something that is coming very soon. Debating between this and GSX, two different products, but I see what you're saying. Deduct a point for the engine ITT goes to 0 when you turn off. All right. Such a unique aircraft, don't see too many single engine personal jets. That is true. ITT should say hi after the engine is off. Oh, really? That I didn't know. And maybe if you actually contact the developers, maybe they will heed your advice and make the change. All right, looks like the clouds are subsiding as we get to San Diego, which is a welcoming change. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, let's see here. All right. I think we are going to begin our descent now. So I'm going to reset our MCP altitude to 2,000 feet. All right, 2,000 feet is set. We're going to use a vertical speed today, and we're going to set the vertical speed to about 1,000 feet per minute. There we go. And what we can do, once we are, let's take a look here. Yeah, maybe we started a little bit too early. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do about 700 feet per minute. And what we're going to do is we are going to go to the, why does it keep saying that? Procedure, activate approach. All right, here we go. Perfect. All right, and we can now decrease our rate of descent. Let's see here. Increase, beg your pardon, our rate of descent. And we're going to go back. Back flight plan. I just don't know why it does that. All right, so we're going to go direct to Lindy. Which is the transition. You can see here, this is about 43 nautical miles. And we continue the descent now. That's the airport. That's San Diego right there. And Here's a look at the outside. Excellent. Captain Ray, hello my friend, welcome aboard. I'm a stickler for the details, can't help it. No, that's good. I like details too. I do like this plane though. Be nice after the, yeah, it is a very nice plane. I do like it a lot, to be honest, and it's just really a wonderful aircraft. All right, so I'm gonna come here now. You can see this is now, it says FMS, so I'm gonna go to manual, and I'm gonna reduce power. Right, gonna reduce the power here, and yeah, as we approach San Diego. We're about 34 nautical miles and 212. Yeah, I think we're just slightly too high. So I'm going to start reducing our speed, and I'm going to increase our rate of descent to up to 1,500 feet is okay. Not too bad. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to go to anything more than that would be uncomfortable for the passengers. So let's keep it at 1,400 feet. How about that? And we'll just reduce our speed. We're taking it down to about 200 knots or so. Excellent. How about that? Whatever good things you've heard about this jet is probably very true. As you can see here, just absolutely brilliant. Right, so guys, just all right, we're approaching 10,000 feet. Let's turn on the landing lights. Landing lights are on. So if you look here, this is where we're heading. So the aircraft is heading to Lindy. This is the transition into San Diego, and this is a mountainous area here, as you can see. So we need to be pretty careful about our altitude as we approach the airport. Just a little bit of haze here, but it looks very nice. A lot better than Burbank, where the clouds were pretty heavy. But yeah, this actually looks pretty nice, and we are almost at our destination now. Overall, very impressed with the aircraft. I think it's a lot of fun, about 20 nautical miles. We can reduce our rate of descent a little bit to 1,000 feet per minute. Right, 1,000 feet, done. And we're cruising at about 208 knots or so. We're going to start reducing our speed further. And we'll keep the rate of descent at about 1,000 feet per minute. It is indeed a beautiful little machine. Hey Robert, welcome aboard. Make sure you set the heading bug in case you, yep, you are right. And if you want to set the heading bug, just click here. It sets the heading bug. So if you click here, and the same thing goes for the altitude as well. And we're going to continue to reduce our speed. Looks like a lot of haze there in the distance, as you can see right over there. Or maybe it's fog, I don't know. Anyway, we are looking good. And I'm going to reduce our rate of descent now to about 600 feet per minute. Actually, let's go to 500 feet per minute. And we're going to maintain about 170 knots now. We are about 12 nautical miles from the transition into our approach at San Diego. All right, here we go. Let's give it power and maintain 170 knots. It is actually pretty easy to fly, and it's a lot of fun to hand fly this aircraft as well. So not a very complex aircraft, and the rendition of the aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator is really outstanding. All right, all is looking good. And by the way, San Diego Airport is somewhere over there now. So we're just going to be mindful of these mountains. And that's our turn here. And as you can see, this is the waypoint that we're interested in now. We continue about 7.5 nautical miles to Lindy. We're doing good in terms of our altitude. Visibility isn't that great, though I must say. Pretty bad. And what we're going to do once we pass Lindy here, we are going to switch the nav source to nav 1 and hit the approach, and hopefully we can then see the airport, because it would be very difficult to land the aircraft in such conditions. All right, we're going to start reducing our speed. And we're going to also reduce the rate of descent to about 200 feet. All right. At this point, folks, we're going to come here to the nav source and say nav 1. And we're going to click on approach. And let's descend down, 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 down. All right. All right, let's just take care of our speed here. And we're going to maintain 170 knots now until established. Perfect. I love the synthetic vision, by the way. I think it's very nice. All right, we're going to go to, again, let's see, 900 feet. All right, let's start reducing our power. And now we want to make sure that we hit on flight change so that the aircraft descends to 2,000 and stays at 2,000. Airport ahead of us now, and it's going to remain turbulent. Let's see here. We want to make sure this is on manual. Okay. Peter, thank you for holding my spot for a shared flight on the Challenger. Thank you very much for your $9.99 super chat. Appreciate it. And why are we getting buffered right now, just right before we land? That's not a nice thing. Please be kind to me, YouTube and the internet. The stream is lagging.
Holding my spot for a shared flight on the Challenger.
And it's doing it right before we land. That's a shame. Right, should be okay now. Just in time for the landing into hopefully not lagging too much now. It's fine. Okay, perfect. I am getting the error on from YouTube saying that it's lagging, but I think it's back now. All right, so we're, again, guys, there is no glide slope here, so it's just a localizer only. So I'm going to depend on my ability to see the runway. We are reducing our speed as much as possible so that we are at 2,000. And I think I do have a visual on the runway. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lower the landing gear now. And we're going to go flaps 50%. And we have the runway in sight. All right, at this point, I'm going to give it just a little more power, and that's the runway right there. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the autopilot and my aircraft, and I'm going to now hand fly the aircraft into San Diego. We're a bit too slow. So I'm just going to give it just a little more power, and you can see the runway ahead of us now. Now, San Diego runway 27 is very tricky because all of all the buildings that are in the way as we approach the runway. There is a little bit of turbulence as well and some crosswind, which is going to make this rather interesting, but nonetheless fun. And I tell you, hand flying this aircraft is actually a lot of fun. Let me just set our trim here. Right, there we go. Much better. All right. So we don't keep bouncing too much. Right. Perfect. And flaps are still at 50. We're going to keep them at 50 for now. Let's start reducing our speed. Let me set my field of view. There, that's much, much better. Guys, look at this beautiful approach into... Mr. Don has been with us for 16 months. Look at this beautiful approach into San Diego. Let's go ahead and reduce the speed. We can actually go to flaps full and help reduce the speed. As you can see, we are very close to the ground, and that's what makes this approach into San Diego a rather tricky approach. But this is absolutely gorgeous, guys. What a lovely looking sight here as we come into land at San Diego International. And welcome to San Diego International Airport, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful approach into San Diego, and what a beautiful aircraft to fly. It's so much fun to hand fly this aircraft. I tell you guys, it's a real joy. I can't recommend it enough. Very, very fine aircraft to have for the sim. And landing lights, actually I can leave the strobes. Landing lights are off. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this this flight really into San Diego. A lot of fun. The FlightFX SF50 is brilliant. I think we can park the aircraft somewhere towards the end here. And we can retract the flaps. Listen to those beautiful engine sounds. Gorgeous. I'm not sure if this is a parking spot, but it looks remote enough for us to park, you know, a private jet. And we've made it. Parking brake is set. How cool is that? It is really a brilliant aircraft. Thank you very much, Rand. Thank you, Cicada Burger Pops. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Raul. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Tell you, it's been immense fun, really, flying the this FlightFX aircraft. It's been really, really a joyful ride from Hollywood, Burbank in California to San Diego International, and totally worth the $25, actually just under $25. Let's go ahead and come over here to, let's see here. All right, so thrust is on idle, the parking brake is set. We can turn on the probe heat, fresh air and master oxygen. We can turn off the strobes, generator 1, generator 2, battery 1 and battery 2. And we are safely on the ground. Let's go ahead and open the door and let our business executives out of the aircraft. And there you have it. Look at that. Look at how beautiful this aircraft is. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the FlightFX SF50 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. My final remarks on this aircraft is that it is a well-developed aircraft by FlightFX. It meets all the criteria of having, you know, a good add-on, or actually I would say an excellent add-on. There are a few things that would make this a perfect 10, such as, you know, the overhead panel here. If this was operational, as well as, you know, some of the manual, having the manual with, you know, with just slightly more details on using the, you know, using the, oh, by the way, this needs to go that's how you turn off the engines. We never actually turned off the engines. Just a few things really on the manual, a few things there on the aircraft itself from the inside, and this would be a 10 out of 10, but nothing short of spectacular. This aircraft, ladies and gentlemen, receives the Q8 Pilot Seal of Approval and a final score of 9 out of 10. It is an aircraft that I highly recommend, and if I am to do a top 10 list of payware add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator, this aircraft is definitely going to be in that list. This aircraft is that good, and you will not regret making the investment and paying the price tag of this aircraft. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and definitely enjoyed being with you guys here on the channel. Roger, welcome to the Q8 Pilot channel, and it's been great fun, but it's time for me to now hit the sack and call it a day. So until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.